listening to the IELTS podcast. Learn from tutors and ex-examiners who are masters of IELTS preparation. Your host, Ben Worthington.
IELTS Speaking Part 3. Why questions? This is an extremely valuable, powerful tutorial that I'm going to share with you. I've been perfecting this piece of advice with one of my private students at the moment, and the results have been impressive. Hi there, my name's Ben Worthington, and I am an IELTS tutor. I specialized in IELTS over 12 years ago. I started off because I was lost. I started these tutorials because I was lost with IELTS. Lost, frustrated, annoyed, and really just completely out of my depth. How did I solve it? Well, I started asking for help. I asked ex-IELTS examiners, language experts, course writers. I asked anybody who I could find to help me get better at preparing students for IELTS. And I started recording these interviews and then releasing them to help other students, to help other tutors. And then I tested what the other tutors told me. I tested it on my own private students. If it worked, it went into our online course. If it didn't work, I just left it, moved on, and started testing more material. Now this one I stumbled across with my recent private student. We were working through a common exercise I do, which is called a reflection drill, which helps the student answer instantly, automatically, and quickly, and very importantly, grammatically correct answers that are on topic. And we were just drilling this exercise. It was quite an intense class. I'm always exceedingly tired after every class I do, and I think the student is probably even more tired. But anyway, we were working through some part 3 questions, and then I realized that there's a structure with some of these questions. Some of them are should questions, some of them are what questions, and some of them are why questions, which is what we're going to focus on today. Now, with why questions, these are a wonderful opportunity for you to learn a framework, which is what I'm going to share with you today. So, part of this framework is using the conditionals. Let's quickly review the conditionals. So we've got the first conditional, which is real and possible situations. So that's going to be if plus the present simple, and then will plus the infinitive. You've got the second conditional, hypothetical, less likely situations, if plus past simple plus would plus infinitive. And then we've got the third conditional, past hypothetical situations, regrets, for example. If plus past perfect plus would have plus past participle. Okay. Now, a lot of the ones we're going to be focusing on today is probably the first and second conditional. Probably the second conditional. So, in part 3, as you probably know, the examiner is now starting to challenge you, starting to ask more abstract questions, which you need to develop. The basic framework for this is reflecting the answer and then saying because, and then maybe giving an example. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. If you want to push it a little bit harder, or if you're stressed and you are nervous, then you might be more interested in a structure, a framework, a more detailed structure for your answer. In which case, this framework I'm going to share with you is quite important. So, as I was saying before, lots of different types of part 3 questions. It's a bit like part 2. You know, we've got advantage, disadvantage questions, problem solution questions. Part 2 in the writing, sorry. Now, for part 3 in the speaking, we could have should questions. We could have what do you think? We could have why do you think? And the why is the ones that we're going to focus on today. So the framework is, imagine we get the question, why is it important for people to have hobbies? Very possible to have this type of question on part 3. Now the framework I've been teaching is we reflect. We identify the tense. We say, Well, I guess it is important for people to have hobbies because this is so important. We got to reflect, use the questions in the word as we get use the words in the question. As we get more advanced, we can start adapting, using synonyms and whatnot. But to start off with, let's just do it like a robotic parrot. Okay, so why is it important for people to have hobbies? Well, it's important for people to have hobbies because, now we don't always have to say because, or this is because, or this is due to the fact, but we want to vary that second part of our answer. Now here's where the magic is. We reflect the answer, we say because. It's so important to say because this is the development of your answer. This will help you deliver a coherent answer. And then we say because. If people engaged in hobbies regularly, they would experience reduced stress and enhanced creativity, improving their overall well-being. For example, I recently started playing football. This is my new hobby. And since then, my fitness has improved, and I've also found my overall happiness has also improved. You see? Beautiful, perfect answer there. We've got the conditional in there. We reflected it so it's on topic. It was grammatically perfect because we used the structure in the question in our answer, and we developed it further with a hypothetical example. Okay, that is the structure. Let me just say again, we identify the main subject of the question. We formulate an if clause that sets up the condition relevant to the subject, and then we complete the sentence with a probable result using would. Yeah? Let's go. Why should governments invest in public transportation? I guess governments should invest in public transportation because if governments do invest more in public transport, there would be a significant decrease in urban traffic and pollution. For example, in London, the governments made the tube more efficient, and this increased its attractiveness. Okay, there we go. Real world example at the end just to reinforce what we've just said. Let's do it again. Maybe even pause the tutorial, write down your answer, or even just think of an answer, and then we can compare it with mine. Why is it beneficial to learn a second language? Well, I guess it's beneficial to learn a second language because if someone does learn a second language, their cognitive abilities and cultural understanding would greatly improve. There you go. So we reflect the answer. We use that same structure. More advanced. Once you've mastered that technique of reflection, you can start enhancing it, embellishing it. You can say, well, I guess it's advantageous to learn another language, okay? And then we don't sound as robotic. We don't sound as programmed. But first, don't get ahead of yourself. At first, just master reflecting the question back that you hear, reflecting it back in the same tense that you hear, and then developing the answer. Because if you get it wrong at the beginning, you end up at a wrong point at the end, and your question might be off topic. So that's another advantage of using this technique. Why is exercise important for health? I guess exercise is incredibly important for health because if individuals exercised regularly, they would likely see a decrease in health issues such as obesity and heart disease. For example, my local government recently made the sports centre free, and I think this increased the attractiveness of health, of doing exercise and doing sports, and probably improved people's health. Okay, that wasn't a perfect answer, I admit. I could develop it a little bit more, throw in a rescue sentence, something like, and I guess when people are doing exercise, they it contributes significantly towards a healthier lifestyle. There we go. Next one. Why should society focus on renewable energy sources? I guess society should focus on renewable energy sources, because if society did shift to renewable energy, we'd see a significant reduction in environmental pollution. And I guess this might help people with sensitive lungs, because there would be less pollution in the air. The air would be cleaner. So I guess that's why society should focus on renewable energy sources. Again, if you're working with me privately, I could give you the whole framework, and I could teach you concepts like rescue sentences or just summarizing your answer at the end and whatnot. But for now, we're just focusing on part 3 and the why questions, and building conditionals into your answer. As a side note, conditionals are insanely invaluable. You can also use them in your writing task, just to demonstrate your point and develop the point even further, and pick up extra points for grammatical range and accuracy. Moving on. Why is it important to preserve historical landmarks? I guess it's very important to maintain and keep and preserve these historical landmarks, because if we preserve them, future generations would have a tangible connection to their heritage. And I guess that's why it's important to preserve them. Again, you may have noticed another language feature there. I didn't want to mention historical landmarks over and over again, so I used a demonstrative, which just eases the flow of information and just makes it easier to understand. I can say them, and the listener knows I'm talking about historical landmarks. And knows I'm talking about historical landmarks. Okay? Why is teamwork valuable in the workplace? I guess teamwork's valuable for the workplace because if employees work together as a team, productivity and job satisfaction would likely increase. For example, recently at my work, I got put into a team, and I found that I was far more productive working with others than if I'm just working alone. So teamwork is definitely valuable in the workplace because of the benefits it provides. There we go. So just to give you the structure one more time, or the strategy. We're in part 3, and we're going smoothly, and we're confident because we've taken Ben's IELTS Speaking Confidence course. No, we're in the exam, we're feeling confident, we've meditated, we're feeling relaxed and calm, we're smiling, we're sitting up straight, we're looking at the examiner, it's all going well. And finally, the examiner asks us a part 3 question, and you're like, great, I know the structure. I'm going to reflect the answer, and then I'm going to give a conditional sentence. Okay? I'm going to formulate an if clause that sets up the condition relevant to the subject. The clause will have would at the end, and then I'm just going to wrap it up. I'm either going to give an example if one comes to mind. If not, I'm going to wrap it up, summarize my answer, smile, job done. Give me another question, examiner, and give me that band 7, 8 or 9 that I deserve for giving you beautiful answers. Of course, you're not going to say that, but that could be the mindset, you know. Go in there thinking you're going to get it, and you will see a big improvement in your performance. So that's it today. A very practical framework, a very practical tool that you can use. As you know, nowadays, most smart students are using tools, not information, to get the scores they deserve. One of these tools is our online essay checker. You know, you need this because you can write essay after essay. You don't even have to write new essays. You can find your old ones, put them in the checker, find out where you're going wrong, work on that area, put it in again. You don't have to wait for a tutor to look over your essay, and you're just going to get some high quality feedback. It's free. If you're serious about passing, then you can invest in getting the premium checker, which is going to give you a more accurate score. It's going to give you more detailed feedback so you can improve even faster. So if you find yourself in a pickle, as we say in England, if you find yourself with your exam coming up in 6 days, this will definitely help you to improve faster. That's it from me today. Just one last thing. If you're enjoying this tutorial, share it with your friends. Post it online. I'd be very grateful. You can even tag me. Just share it. We don't do any paid promotion, so if you do share it, it would be a massive help to me, and it'd be just, a way to return the favor if you have gotten some value from these tutorials. So that's it. Have a beautiful day. Remember, it's worth putting in the time for your IELTS preparation. It's worth it. It's going to have a massive impact on your life. Stop going out for a month. Cancel your Netflix subscription. Make IELTS your number one focus, and you will get the results, and you will find yourself in a better position once you get that elusive, glorious answer. Have a fantastic day.
Thanks for listening to IELTSPodcast.com.